How's it going, everyone? I'm Keegs, and I did a quick micro review about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but I realize now that I just have so many thoughts about it that I just need to make a video. Now, my expectations were high, but honestly not that high because I didn't really think they'd be able to beat or at least even match how good the first one was, and I thought even if they come 80%, then that's still a really good movie, but I was completely wrong. This movie was incredible, and overall it's shaping out to be one of the best trilogies of all time, I think. Going into the movie, I didn't even realize, actually, that this was going to be a part 1, part 2 kind of thing, but it definitely ends on a cliffhanger, and all I can say is that I'm really glad we only have to wait 1 year before the next one comes out. It's funny, though, because when the narration started at the end of the movie, I thought, wait, hold up, this feels kind of like a season finale of some TV show, but, I don't know, man, they're just going to build up a lot of hype, I guess, for the final fights. But nope, actually, that was just the end. It cuts to black and says, "To be continued." So yeah, I guess it's definitely for the best though, since he's kind of got a lot going on and there's a lot to wrap up now, and trying to cram all that into a 20-minute ending would have been a lot. I really love the animation style in this just as much as I did in the first one, and it just, to me, feels like such an innovation born of a budget constraint, probably. I don't think the first movie had the biggest budget ever, so a great way to save a lot of money is actually to do a still frame, but just make it a absolutely beautiful art of work, and just kind of slowly zoom in or out or whatever, and it saves a lot of money because you don't actually have to animate that. All you have to do is a slow zoom, but also you have to have amazing art to complement that, which this movie has in abundance. Regardless, though, of if that was the case or not, the movie looked amazing, and I really loved how they had a lot of the little comic book footnotes that were here and there that were explaining some backstory on certain characters and things. I actually think I kind of missed a lot of those because I was busy focusing on something else in the movie, and by the time I started reading the footnote, it was already gone, so I'm definitely going to have to really pay attention to those on my next watch through. The music just interweaves flawlessly through the movie, and it kind of feels to me like Arcane levels of where they were writing a lot of the story around some of the songs, or having the songs very much tailored to the story. And there was actually one moment in this that I just absolutely died laughing. My entire theater actually kind of broke out laughing, and it kind of references a meme that I think everybody will know immediately upon seeing it, but I just thought that was hysterical. Some spoilers here, but I feel like Miguel O'Hara's vampire skills really could have used more time in the limelight, because I thought that that was a really interesting fact about this particular Spider-Man, but we really only saw it at the very beginning opening sequence with the Vulture when he was about to go, I guess, bite the Vulture and kill him? I guess I'm not 100% sure about that. He seems like a dude that would definitely just kill anomalies, but I feel like that could really give him a big edge in the fight against Miles Morales, because Miles has a lot of powers of his own, like invisibility and stuff, so I wonder if Miguel is going to be able to kind of counter some of those, like he can smell Miles or something. But I think that'll be really interesting, and probably a pretty big part of the next movie, if I had to guess. I would have also liked to see a little bit more of his backstory, and if him literally just being in that alternate universe is what caused it to collapse actually, or if there was a little bit more to the story that he wasn't telling us, because Miguel also doesn't seem very forthcoming with information, and I could definitely see him holding a few secrets here or there that might paint him in a negative light. It was also really funny how they put Gwen on the mission to Miles's universe, and expected her not to go see essentially the love of her life. That seems really weird, especially when you have Spider Society that has literally probably thousands of Spider-Men. You didn't think anybody else could go do that? I mean, I guess you could argue that, she knew that universe, but come on, it's New York City. It's probably not that different than any other Spider-Man's New York City, so they could probably have reached the same outcome without Miles getting involved in any of that. So I guess Gwen was probably just, really just laying it on hard to go to Miles's universe or something so that she could go see him. I don't know. Seemed odd. Hobie is also one of my new favorite characters because, I mean, at first you really kind of want to hate him because of how they set him out to be like, oh, is this another rival love interest for Gwen? But nope, all of a sudden, by the end of the movie, the dude is such a badass, you can't help but like him and want to see him more on screen. When he quit and just said, "I'm out," I was like, wow, this dude is effing awesome. But he also created the interdimensional watch himself, and I feel like a lot of the other Spider-Men should also be capable of doing that, because I feel like all of them should be on a similar intellect level. I mean, maybe Miguel O'Hara is that much smarter than the other ones, which is possible. I don't know a ton about Miguel O'Hara lore, but I feel like Peter Parker and Miles Morales and kind of all the other Spider-Man are shown to have a lot of intellect and could probably manufacture one after seeing that it exists. I mean, it's not like they're starting from scratch. They kind of know it exists and probably knows a little bit how it works, but I don't know. I guess maybe if they had one from Miguel and didn't really have any fear of Miguel turning it off on them or using it against them, then they didn't feel the need to. But anyway, the canon events are interesting, and I feel like you could really come up with a lot of paradoxes if you start to dig into that a little bit too much, but I'm not going to get into that, and I'm just going to go with it here. I wonder if Prowler Miles is going to end up teaming up eventually with Spider-Man Miles, because I feel like, Miles is Miles, and at his core he should be a hero, so Spider-Man Miles will have to pull him back from, the really dark path that the Prowler Miles is going on, but I feel like he should be able to do it because I think Miles should be a hero. So I don't know if he's going to actually end up doing that or if Prowler Miles is just going to be a villain through and through. The Spot was also interesting. I feel like I haven't talked about him at all, and he was like the main villain, kind of, but really things were happening because of him, and he wasn't really a direct threat at almost any point in the movie. He was kind of a back threat, and then by the end he's like a large threat, but he's still not there, and Miguel is kind of the villain. So a lot of this stuff takes place because of the Spot, and I'm sure he's going to have a huge role in the next movie, but I'm interested to see him. His voice is very scary now that he is like omniscient or whatever. So I guess we'll just have to wait for the next movie to see kind of how that all works out. But I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of cleanup work to do for Spider-Man Miles, because he's got like Miguel O'Hara, he's got the Spot, and he's got the Prowler Miles. So there's going to be a lot of cleanup, and I feel like he is going to need his team with him, which is why obviously we see Spider-Gwen and a lot of the characters from the first movie. I'm really excited to see Noir Spider-Man back, Nick Cage. I just think that's such a perfect casting, but I really think that those guys are going to have to help him. So I wonder if they know that he is in the wrong universe. Well, I mean, they know he's in the wrong universe, but do they know which universe he is in? I would assume so as well, because it seemed like they had already pulled up the teleporter at the end of the movie, so they're probably going to go help him out and save him from Prowler. Luckily, we don't have to wait super long, though, and it's only a year away until we get to see exactly how the final act plays out. I'm assuming this is the final act. I don't know that for sure. There could be a fourth one, though. I don't think it's going to be directly tied to this one. I think this one is probably going to wrap up every arc we've seen so far, but I could definitely see a spin-off happening because now you have literally unlimited Spider-Man to work with. Let me know what your favorite part of the movie was, though. I'm Keegs, and I will catch you all next time for some more Spider-Man content.